What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather right now, but I have a lot of reviews to do, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Today in the review box, though, we have the Ferrari 458 Speciale from MiniDream. Now, this is the first time I've added this brand to my collection. I have had these for about a year now, though. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at these and see if they are worth adding to your collections. So getting things started with our casting. Taking a quick look at our proportions, I can say quite gladly that there's really nothing wrong proportionally. It is pretty good and pretty much what you'd expect and want to see. I will say, though, it might sit up a little bit too high for my personal taste. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but it just looks like it sits a touch high for my personal opinion. Now, we will go ahead and pop the real-life car up in the top right corner there for you to compare, and then I will kind of get into the casting here. So, one thing that we should definitely make mention of is basically whatever you see painted in red is going to be die-cast metal. But we do have a lot of plastic. The base and this diffuser section, and then a touch up here in the splitter, this is all going to be plastic. And then what is like mostly detailed in is just kind of painted over a casted bit of metal. So there's not like a lot of plastic inserts or anything. Our mirrors are going to be plastic. And then making our way into the actual casting itself, we can see our body lines are all casted in pretty nicely and executed fairly nicely. I will say that this thing down here should be separated from the body, as you saw when the real life car was up. And instead of like incorporating that into the base maybe and having it flick out, they just molded it into the rest of the body, which is definitely a little bit weird, definitely a little bit odd, and not the way I would have done it, that's for sure. That's kind of the way I would have expected like a Hot Wheels or Matchbox to do it when it's made for kids. So paint and deco, as you can see here, there are at least two options. You can have the yellow with the blue and white stripe, or you can have like the bright red with the blue and white stripe. There's also a metallic red, and I think there's a white one as well. There's at least the 3 or 4 different colors. I think there might have been even 5 or 6 grand total. These are the two that I went with, though. And when they were as pricey as these ones, I really kind of had to pick what I thought was best. And for the 458 Speciale, it would be these two. The paint on them does look good. There are a couple spots where it does not look amazing. There's a little bit of orange peel on the doors on both sides of the yellow one here. Flip it over on the red, and you don't get it nearly as present, but it is still there. Like, it looks okay, but it's not like horrendously orange peeled, but it's not perfectly smooth and flat like it should be either. The striping down the center, though, does look good, and that is always nice to see. Moving into our details. So, up front here, we do get plastic inserts for the headlights, which look really good. There's a hole in the hood, I guess you would call it, that does connect to like the interior, so that is nicely detailed. We do get a Ferrari logo up front. This right here, which would be an intake kind of thing on the real car, which air kind of flows in through, is just got a little black tampo over it, so doesn't look amazing, but it's okay, I guess. And then down here, we do get another Ferrari logo there. And again, these kind of like vents here are just kind of tampoed. They're not any sort of plastic insert or a connection to the base or anything like that. Making our way down the side, we do get another Ferrari shield here, which looks good. Door handle detailed on. We do have accurate wheels, although they're not super detailed. No brakes or anything behind there. Door handle does even have a little dot there. Mirrors do have paint on them to actually give them a bit of a reflective look, so that's kind of cool. Making our way to the rear section here, we do get a Ferrari logo up here. We do get taillight inserts, which is good. But once again, though, this is just kind of painted over the plastic, or the metal, sorry. So, not ideal, but it looks okay. Ferrari logo, license plate. And then we do get this diffuser here, which looks really good. There is painted exhaust tips, so that looks good. That is a piece of the diffuser. Looking good. Then in the back, you can see we do have an engine detailed in there. However, there's no sort of paint or anything like that, so it does look a little bit bland there. But overall details, not too shabby. Moving into our roll test, as this is a new brand for almost all your collections, I would assume. If they roll is probably an important question, and I can happily say that they both roll, and they roll fairly easily, not quite as smooth as like a Mini GT, about on par with like Kyosho. I put these ones on the scale, and they come out to be about 29.18 grams, which is still a little bit light, but it does have a plastic base, and there's a lot of plastic on the interior. Pros and cons, getting started with our pros. The first big pro is that a 1/64 458 Speciale is not exactly an easy thing to come by, and MiniDream has made it fairly easy to get. So that was good to see. I think Kyosho has one, and then Barago might have one, but I doubt theirs is actually 1/64th. The other good pro that we have here is that it does look good, especially from a bit of a distance. If you zoom in close, it's not going to look amazing, but it does look decent from a distance, and that is nice to see when Ferraris are a little bit tougher to find in the 1/64 scale space. Moving into our cons, though, the first big con that we've kind of glanced on a little bit is that the detailing is not amazing. Like I said, that engine, I mean, that's straight up a Hot Wheels engine bay. Interior has little to no detailing, especially paint detailing. And then just the casted-in details are not amazing. And the rest of the detailing in general, just a little bit subpar. And the reason I'm so harsh on the details is because this is a $25 model. So that's the other big con, the price tag. This thing is way overpriced for the level of detail that you get. For some quick size comparisons with other Ferrari models that you might own, here we have it with the Hot Wheels Ferrari 458 and the Tomica Ferrari 488 Spider. And here we have it with some more premium Ferraris with the Tarmac Works Ferrari 458 GT3 and the Stance Hunters Ferrari F12 TDF. So with all of that out of the way, it is now time to give my final scores. Hype level, I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. Like I said, there's not a lot of true 1/64th scale Ferrari 458 Speciales, so this one coming out was a little bit exciting. Execution, I can only give it a 9 out of 10. Honestly, that's being a little bit generous, and that generosity is due to the fact that this car, again, just hard to find in 1/64 scale, because there are quite a few errors and mistakes and just bad decisions that were involved with this one, including the price tag. Community input gave this one to the council. Here are their results, and this is going to average out to be about an 8.5 out of 10. When we take these three scores, add them together, we're going to end up with an 8.87 out of 10 for our overall score. I think that's a very fitting final score for a very good model of a car that lacks 1/64 scale representation. There is a lot of things I would have changed and some things I would have done differently for this particular model, especially at that price point. So I can't really say I highly recommend this one. I would say that maybe you should just hold out and wait and see if we can get this car from another brand. Maybe you'll get it a little bit cheaper, or maybe you'll get it around the same price, but a lot more details. So I can't really say that you should definitely add this one to your collections unless you are just a diehard Ferrari 458 Speciale fan and the little gripes and nitpicks don't bother you and you want this car in your collection right now and you cannot be patient. With all that said though, if you can be patient, I think you might be better off waiting and seeing what comes from other brands down the line. And with that, guys, that is all I have for this review. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, and I will see you in the next video.